It's been really helpful for me to learn the sort of brain science behind the thinking, behind the approach. It's helped me be kinder to myself when it's really hard, and it's definitely helped me be much more patient with my children when it's been really hard. So just before we kind of jump in, I just want to, it's obvious listening to you and special timing with you, just the tremendous effort that everyone puts into making life go well for the children that they are around and live with, and so it's just really touching to notice that, and I wanted to appreciate that in the group. And I thought maybe just if you just turn to the person sitting next to you and just say one thing that's going well, just a little short thing that's going well. So when we pay attention to connection rather than control, we're really paying attention to what makes the brain work well, what makes the brain work in concert with itself. So there are three key parts of the brain. There's the brain stem at the back here, which is the real reptilian part of the brain. And then there's the limbic system, which is a really complex set of structures which I don't quite understand how they all work, but they are the seat of long-term memory, and they're the seat of emotions. They're the seat of a few other things as well, but I'll get to that. They basically, it's your gut response. The limbic system is responsible for that gut response to things. And then there's another part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. And in summary, if your limbic system isn't feeling safe, and for a child in particular who is obviously physically more vulnerable, if they're not feeling in connection with the adults that they're around, the limbic system floods the brain so that they're really stuck in that sort of flight or fight or freeze mode. And so if you're stuck in that mode, you're not in your prefrontal cortex.
Is there somebody, an adult, to take care of me so that I survive? This is the function of the limbic system. And it makes sense that when, rattling around, oh, there is nobody there, oh, what will happen to me? They go into a frenzy. And it's good because it gives us a signal, that child might be in trouble, might be near the lake or something like that. So this is with good reason. And on the other hand, and here is the bad news, sorry. This part of the brain doesn't develop fully until we are something like 20. Okay? And I think most of us parents make the mistake that when the child starts talking, we think, okay, all this is done. It's like she talks, then perhaps she understands that mommy needs to work, or she understands the logistics that first is shop, then playground, then picking up big brother from sports class. No. Just because she can talk, she did master some things, but not all of these reasoning functions at all. So that's one bad news, that it will be all working well given we are feeling well by the age of 20. And then perhaps you have noticed that sometimes these things are just not available. You make the wrong decision. I tell my husband, I'm divorcing today. I don't want to divorce, but at that moment, okay. I lose absolutely this part of my brain. So that's another bad news, that when our limbic system doesn't feel this, then that other part, the thinking brain, shuts down. And that the good news is that there is a process that is inherent, that is really inbuilt and natural for all of us. And all young children use it. and it's we who tell them not to, not to, not to, not to, not to, and it takes us years until they finally stop. So we have these inherent mechanisms to get back to our good thinking. And we call it the hurt and recovery process. So then when we don't feel safe, we offload these emotions. We cry, we laugh, we tremble, we tantrum and all that. And all these are good. And we parents, this is the vital information that I got, and then finally I could be relaxed as a parent, more or less. But at least I have this information. And when I'm well, I can use it. And when I'm not, I do whatever. It's the way it is. So then all of that can come through all these processes which are natural to us. And just, you don't have to believe me this. None of that. Just try. There is somebody crying or angry, and you just shut up, stay close and listen, and see what happens. So that was it.